And so we come to the sixth and last of my archival films of Australian motor racing. And this one is the longest and the best. Best because at 19 years of age, I now have several years of filming at Warwick Farm under my belt. I know all the best angles to shoot. Best because I have all the photographer's passes I need, thanks to this movie-tone cameraman getting himself on the AARC's media mailing list. Best because I have Dad's EJ Holden station wagon full of his film equipment. 2 16mm movie cameras, 2 professional hydraulic tripods, and my mate Gilbert Kennedy, who I've trained up as a second cameraman. And I still found time to also shoot colour slides on my 35mm Pentax. Best because it's the Australian Touring Car Championship, and the last time this title for my favourite touring cars was decided over a single race. Best because we film it over 2 days, scurrying all over the place, scrutineering on the Saturday morning, and then into the hard-to-reach places for practice in the afternoon. On race day, we have our own tried-and-true routine to walk. Gil starts at Creek Corner and gradually works his way back up through the ashes to the Northern Crossing. I film the start and then move to shoot between the Causeway and Homestead Corner, then back to pit straight to get the checkered flag and the trophy presentation. Till now, the raw footage that the two of us shot has never been edited into chronological order, but I can do that easily now with my video editing software. This also allows me to get my original colour footage to its best with digital enhancement. 2 days rummaging on YouTube gets me the roaring V8 sounds I need for the Mustangs and Chevs, and then I match that shot by shot to make this edited version come alive. I have been waiting 53 years to do this. To the drivers here that we filmed that were our heroes and their families, I say, you were bloody awesome. This is my gift to you. And now, making all my films available far and wide eases a burden of responsibility that I have carried through 7 house moves, 2 states, and most of my life. I'm relieved, I'm delighted. This is my legacy, my greatest film accomplishment. Camera! Speed! Action! Ryan Thompson has his ex-Norm Beachy Mustang ready to go. And my mate Gilbert sticky beaks into the window. Bob Jane has replaced his first Mustang that got destroyed at Catalina with this 390, only one to race with a big block. When Norm Beachy first raced this car, I got trapped in the driver's seat in these very pits when the Trident team got mobbed and sat on its roof. Someone obviously got those dents out. The 67 Chevy Camaro of Terry Allen. Jim McKeown with Norm. Beachy was always sitting on race cars, even Moffat's Trans Am. Jim was a panel beater in country Victoria and with Shell's help brought the first Lotus Cortina into Australia. Jeff Sykes has pulled off yet another race organising coup, getting 3 of New Zealand's top cars over for a Mustang Fest. Red Dawson will be competitive, as will Paul Fay. Rod Coppins completes the imported trio using Pete Gagan's original pony car. Brett Gibson is driving Neil Allen's Mustang. Porsche dealer, Alan Hamilton, will drive a Porsche 911. And here's the man everyone wants to be, Pete Gagan in his GTA Mustang. The A stands for automatic because it was converted from an automatic to a manual by his mechanic John Shepherd. It won this national title last year at its very first outing. Daunting. Jane is ripped sideways by the power of the 390. Norm comes across and is almost in Pete's door. The big three guns are side by side. Breaking in a creek corner for the first time, and Jane is almost in Beachy's door, but the big Chev jumps away. What is McEwen doing ahead of all those Mustangs? Mayhem at the back, but it always is. First casualty, Bob Morris doesn't finish the first lap. Bugler fodder. Three big guns are in another class. Onto the causeway and back onto the juice. Gagan, Beachy, Jane into the creek corner for the second time. Gagan's already getting away. Lap 3 and they are on the limit. Jim McEwen's Cortina is going like a rocket, but he breaks an axle on lap 3 and is out. A failure he regrets to this day. Barnes is all over time. Lap 4 and Big Pete is giving a masterclass. Look where Mountain's Mini is.
Minnie keeps harassing Thompson. Fence is going well. It's David and Goliath on a noisier scale. Red Dawson is doing the Kiwis proud. Oh, they're still at it. Jane has been burning oil all weekend and his camshaft seizes on lap 8. He's gone! He's got him! Bottoms has worn that Mustang down! Giant killer! With Jane gone, the pressure's off Beachy. 3 laps later, Norm overheats and he cooks it. Another one bites the dust. Still happy to pose for a Beachy maniac though. Faye is being slowed with gearbox woes. Red Dawson has tyre problems but keeps going. Alan Hamilton has quietly worked his way up in a 3rd place behind Peter Manton. This is how you drive a Cooper S. Graham Ryan and the EH Holderness had to pit. He's lost 5 laps, but he keeps at it. Richard Thurston's Corolla is still at it. Bill Barnes has cooked it and will only complete 19 laps. Tomo has been lapped twice. sting his horse. Had to stop, loses a lap and drops to 12th place. Herb Taylor pits again. Kagan survives the attrition and wins it in yet another convincing display. Hamilton's rear tyre deflates on the very last lap. King snatches second off him and the 911 gets third. What can you say? He's just murdered the competition yet again.
But wait! There's more!
Terry Allen does not start the race in this Camaro and strangely does not even appear as a DNF in published results. This is one of Australia's most iconic Ford Lotus Cortinas. Rod Coppins raced a wide variety of cars and won the New Zealand Saloon Car Championship in 1970 and 1973. Bob Jane develops Australia's biggest tyre franchise and a very strong race team, employing many of the next generation's race drivers. He builds the first NASCAR track outside of the USA and brings that sport to tens of thousands of Australians. He keeps the Bathurst 1000 going by sponsoring it when no one else would. Charismatic Norm Beechey is the most popular race driver of his day, developing a new sedan each year. Every one of those cars becomes an icon, culminating in his self-developed Mustang-beating Holden Monaro. He is also a role model to a young Peter Brock. That small plume of steam at the bottom of the radiator is why this pic became my first magazine cover and started regular publication of my work. I am standing a metre inside that ripple strip right out in the open using an 88mm portrait lens. Paul Fay had a huge influence on New Zealand motorsport and set the bar for professional motorsport presentation. He was the New Zealand Saloon Car Champion 7 times. This Mustang of Red Dawson's was a genuine ex-Shelby team Trans Am car. He went on to concentrate on saloon cars in New Zealand and was a constant thorn in the side of Paul Fay, racing a Z28 Camaro and then a Monza. After racing this car with some success in Australia, Brian Thompson made the incredibly brave and adventurous move of selling his Shepparton truck business and taking his wife and the Mustang on a motor racing holiday in the United Kingdom. He raced over there against people like Graham Hill in a Works Lotus Cortina, Roy Pierpont and expat Australian Brian Muir. Thompson recorded many wins and lap records in the dozens of races he competed in and was regularly the top privateer home. And the car itself? Well, after a checkered racing career and passing through many sets of hands, this car is now being faithfully restored in Beechey's colours by Chad Parrish of New South Wales. Brett Gibson would develop into one of our top drivers and race team managers. He became a mainstay with the Ford Works team in GTHOs for 6 years. He was a driver and then manager of the Nissan Bluebird factory team. In 2001, he then ran Gibson Motorsport Commodores in the V8 supercars. Alan Hamilton was a Porsche dealer for 40 years and raced more of that brand of car probably than anyone else in Australia. He was very successful in Formula 5000, surviving a near-fatal crash, and raced in sports cars and hill climbs, including several Le Mans attempts. He's most famously remembered as a co-driver with Colin Bond in that 1977 Bathurst 1-2 Falcon finish. Darrell King's second outright stands out as one of the highest placings in Australian touring car racing for a Cooper S. Pete Gagan will win the Australian Touring Car Championship 5 times. His GTA Mustang goes on to become the most winning touring car ever in Australia. This is the only car to win the Australian Touring Car Championship 3 times. Today the car has been fully restored and continues to race in historic touring cars.